Welcome back, everyone. Time to do another top, iOS 14 hidden features. Now, I'm doing this on a block of wood, so if something is weird, blame the piece of wood. Now, iOS 14 is a crazy cool update. I like it a lot, and I'm very, very excited to do this video. I've been trying to do it for a long time. That's why I'm doing it on a piece of wood. Now, a lot of these features I'm sure some of you guys may have seen, but maybe some of you haven't seen. And the very first one I want to hit on is something that's actually extremely, extremely cool. So the very first thing is basically within the photo gallery app. So if I go and click here, I can go on any single photo. Let's just go on to this one, for example. It doesn't really matter. Actually, I take that back. Let's go to this one. It's going to be easier to do. There's actually new editing capabilities. So if you go and click the edit tab up here, for example, you go into markup, which you could get there by clicking there. You'll see that the layout is almost pretty much the same, but one thing that's really, really cool is the new color picker. So as soon as you click on here, and this isn't even the crazier thing I want to show you, but you can see there's a ton of more options to select the coloring. So as you can see right here, there are a ton of options. You can go and click on any color you want to. It's also kind of satisfying if you can kind of grab it and kind of change the colors like that. You can also change the opacity down here. That kind of makes it a little bit darker, a little bit brighter. And you can also see the percentage here and actually type in a percentage if you want to, which is really awesome. You can also have some selected favorite colors over here. You can also change the spectrum of the color. So as you can see, it's a little bit more capability here, which is really insane. I really can't believe they did all out for this specific situation. And there's also sliders. You can go and make it darker and however exact you want to. So whichever color you want, you can go ahead and change it here. You can also copy and paste the color that you want to if you know the HTML code, whatever this is, aka the hex color. You can go ahead and just paste it here and just basically get that capability, which is really awesome. So let's just go and say we're okay with this color, this little yellow color, whatever it is. What we can do now is go ahead and select any of these markups that we want to, go and double click it, and let's go ahead and change the opacity to super bright. This new feature beyond just the color capability is actually the ability to draw perfect shapes. So let's say we want to go ahead and circle the Apple logo. Well, usually what we would do is go something like this, and it's really not that good of a shape. But what we can do now is go ahead and circle it and just hold it down for a second, and as you can see, we get that perfect shape. Now I'll go ahead and show you again. So as you can see, that's how it was before. Let's go and try it again, kind of get a good circle, hold it down for a second, and let go. And as you can see, it pretty much circles exactly how we want to. It's a perfect circle. You can also do this with squares that I've seen. So go and draw a square, hold it down. And as you can see, it draws that square. If you want to go and do an oval, I haven't tried it yet. Let's go and try it. As you can see, it draws an oval. I've also seen some people draw an arrow. So as you can see, I hold it down and I totally messed that one up. Let's go and try it again. We draw an arrow. And as you can see, it does an arrow as well. Let me go ahead and try a star. Let's see if it can do this one. And as you can see, it does a star. So there's a ton of capability behind this. There's tons of shapes you can do. And that is something that's really, really awesome. I've seen a couple people talk about it, but that is one of my favorite features within iOS 14. That's kind of a hidden feature. Now, another cool thing within iOS 14 is the capability of recording your audio even in higher quality. So usually if we're going to go into voice memos, typically when we go and record this audio, and interestingly enough, this whole video is recorded in this specific mode from an iPhone. So whether you believe it or not, I'm actually recording it right now. And pretty much what we usually do is, we go ahead and hold it down here. We go ahead and talk however we want to, record it, whatever, yeah, and we're done. But once you go ahead and swipe up, you'll see this new setting up here. Once you pause the video recording, you'll see this new setting up here. And what this does is it basically enhances the audio, and it also removes some of that background noise, which is really cool. And I tried this and it does work. Now, I'll be totally honest, the voice recording is still going to be, pretty much attached with of how well the microphone is inside your phone. If you have like an iPhone 6s or something, it's probably not going to be that great. But if you own like an iPhone 11 Pro, which this is being recorded on, or an iPhone 10, which this specific phone is, you're probably going to have pretty decent recording capability. So that's the new capability. Make sure this is toggled on. If you toggle it off, it's not going to work. Now, this next thing that I want to show you is something that I'm sure a lot of people have probably seen, but it's still something that's really cool. And if you don't know what it is, basically it's the ability to install apps into your app library, which is all the way over here, instead of having it show up on your home screen. So if you want to keep your home screen perfectly clean, instead of having your apps, installed onto your home screen, just like how all these apps are, you can actually have them installed in this specific display. So if you don't know what the app library is, I'll basically make a whole separate video talking about it. But what you want to do in this case, you want to make your way over to the settings app. You want to go scroll down into the new option that we have right here, which is home screen. So you want to go ahead and tap on that. You'll come into this specific display. As you can see, it says newly downloaded apps. You have the option to add to home screen, or you have the option to add to the app library only. So instead of displaying it on your display screen right here, your home screens, and it'll go ahead and take up these little app icons, it'll go ahead and just be installed here. So if you have a custom display and you have custom apps and you change the app icons and everything, you'll basically have all those things show up here instead of the whole display right here on the home screen. So that's another really cool thing that you can go ahead and disable. Now on top of that, if you want to hide current apps and only have them in the app display or app library right here, what you want to do in this case is you want to go ahead and hold down on the app. You'll go ahead and get into this thing. You want to go ahead and click edit home screen. And once you're here, you want to go ahead and click the minus buttons. As you can see, all of them have minus buttons instead of the standard X button. So what you want to do here is you want to go ahead and click on the minus button. You'll come into this specific display and you'll see the option of remove from home screen. Now on a standard app, let's say Agario for example, you'll have the delete app home screen. You'll have the delete app option, so if you want to delete the app, you want to go and click there. However, if you want to move it to the app library, you want to go and click move to app library, and it'll go ahead and move the app into here instead of having it, being totally off your phone and not in the app library. So it pretty much hides the app in a way, which is really cool. Now, on top of that, if you're somebody who wants to hide complete apps of the whole entire display of the home screens, you want to go ahead and do the exact same thing. You want to hold down here, you want to click edit home screen. You want to go ahead and see down here, you'll see that your little thing actually turned white, your little page dots. You want to go and click on it. You'll come into this specific display. Now in here, what you want to do is you can go and click the minus button, and that'll basically, or the uncheck button, and that'll basically hide that entire display or the whole entire home screen. So now, once you hop out or you click done up here, you'll come into this page, you can go and hop out, and you will see that, okay, it'll tell you whatever. You'll see that the last page that I had isn't there anymore. It takes me straight into the app library. So it pretty much hides that specific screen, which is a really, really awesome feature. And I'm sure a lot of you guys are going to use that. Now, the next thing I want to show you is actually within the Photos app. And this is actually some really interesting capability. So let's say we use the same exact photo that we had before. What we can do now is we can add captions to these specific photos. Now, you might be asking yourself, why do you want captions? Well, actually, this can help you kind of narrow down the specific photos that you're looking for. Let's just say, for example, with this photo I downloaded online, there's really not that much back-end information that if I wanted to search this specific photo, I wouldn't really be able to find it. But what we can do now is, say we have that photo up just like this, we can go ahead and swipe up. We have this new capability of seeing an add of caption or add a caption. So what we can do now is go ahead and click on it. You'll come into this specific little thing where the keyboard pops up, and I can go ahead and tap in, let's say Apple or whatever. I can go and click return. You'll click done up here. And what will basically happen is that caption is attached to this photo now. So if I go ahead and click search, and let's just say I just search up Apple, for example, what will basically happen is that this specific photo will actually show up when you search it, which is really cool. So as you can see, that's the only photo that shows up. I can go and click captions and it shows up right here. So if you have a lot of photos with tons of people in it, or you want to specifically diversify these photos for like, it's children or whatever, you can go ahead and note it in. And so when you search for it later on, you can actually be able to find it that way, which is really, really awesome. So that's exactly how you add captions to photos. Now within our Safari browser, we can actually kind of get a privacy report of pretty much all the apps that are using, our background resources, more specifically our ad tracking. And this kind of gives us more access to which apps are using what in our phone, which is really important. So what we want to do here is we want to make our way over to our Safari browser. And once we're here, we want to go ahead and click on the top little A buttons right here, which kind of shows us this information. And what we can do here is we can click privacy report. Now, once you click on that, you'll see this little page, which might look confusing at first, but I'll go ahead and break it down for you. Pretty much it shows us Safari prevents whatever, right up there. It also tells us the trackers that prevent it from profiling you. So built into Safari, this will actually tell us how many times some website tried to access our information and it pretty much denied it. Now it says websites that detected trackers, 26% of the websites that we use. Now down here, you can go ahead and see the trackers within these websites that pretty much these websites are using. So Google, as you can see, these are things that are kind of tracking us, and not necessarily like stealing our data, but kind of something that may be a little weird to you. You can also see the websites here, and these are how many websites that have kind of tracked us in a way. You can see Reddit is number one, then Google, I guess Eclipse is using us, and then this website, which I don't know what it is. So that's pretty much kind of giving you more access to your information. I'm sure all of you guys know that you get little privacy notifications. If you copy and paste something from a different app, it'll go ahead and tell you there. And it kind of gives us a little bit more information of these specific apps and what's being used within them. So this is something that's really important to me, and hopefully that's important to you guys. And that's something that a lot of you guys probably don't even know. Now, another thing that is really, really cool within this is actually the ability to go back within a lot of system apps, and I think other apps too, without having to constantly click back. And you can actually navigate to exactly where you want to go. So in this case, let's just go into settings. We'll be in this page. Now let's go ahead and go down into general. Let's go down into somewhere like accessibility, or Let's just go to iPhone storage. Let's go and scroll down. Let me go to Asphalt 8. So already we're kind of deep into the settings, right? So I'll have to keep clicking back and over again. But what we can do now in iOS 14 is hold down the back button. And as you can see, we get a couple of drop downs right there. So we can go back into general, we can go back into settings, or we can just go back into our previous where iPhone storage was. So in this case, let's just go back into general. So it'll take us back here and we can kind of go on forward. Now, in this case, it's probably not that crazy, but if you're super deep within settings, or another case, if you're in Safari and you hold down the back button, for example, it'll go ahead and bring up a couple of different websites that you went back to. So let's just say we click on this specific setup and we scroll down, and then we're clicking on like this one, for example. What we can do now is hold down that back button, which is right here, and we will also see the last couple websites that we went to. So we can go back into this website, or we can go back into this one. So let's say we want to go back into this one, and it'll go ahead and show us all those websites that we have right here that we can kind of go back to. And the same thing works for forward, as you can see. So I can go back into the first one right here, and it works both ways, which is really, really cool. So we can now go back and forth without having to constantly click back and forth and all that stuff. So now the last one I'm going to show you is back tap, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have already seen it now. And pretty much what it does is that on the back of our iPhones, not every single iPhone is supported. The iPhone 10 is supported. The iPhone, basically all the iPhones with notches are supported. You can go ahead and double tap on the back and have the iPhone do a certain action. So I set mine up to do a screenshot when I go ahead and double tap it, which is really cool, and I think it's one of the coolest things ever. So what we can do now is go ahead and go into our accessibility settings, which is right here. You want to scroll down into touch, which is right here. And then you want to scroll down into back tap, which is the last option. So you can go and click on it. And right here, you can set it to when you double tap or triple tap it, it'll go ahead and do a certain action. So for example, right here, if I go and click double tap, I have it to where I can screenshot it, but you have all these different options. You can go and have it to the screen turn off. You can go into mute the phone. You can go into turn on reachability. And there's a lot of other options down here too. Scroll down, scroll up, and there's a ton of things. So that's an extremely cool thing that you can do. Now, is it useful? I'm pretty sure it is. You can also do Siri shortcuts as well. But you can also have it that when you triple tap it, it does something else too. It might suck up a little bit of battery life, if I'm being honest, but it's still an extremely cool feature at the end of the day. And I'm super glad iOS 14 has that capability. So those are some of my favorite, somewhat hidden features within iOS 14, some ones that you probably may not know about. If you guys have any questions or run into any other problems, let me know in the comment section below. If you find any other hidden secrets or something, let me know in the comments or DM me on Instagram and Twitter and I'll look at them. Hit the like button if you guys enjoyed the video, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count, so it means so much if you guys can hit that. Also check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my second channel. More importantly, everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.